I just thought I'd do a little movie for you so you can see what you're buying. Sorry, the sun's in there. You can see, looking low down, that the engine bar is the lowest thing. You got a small car sump. You can see, you can see on this bank literally 3 pipes out. They loop up and forwards, and then just above the can, where I'm going to try and get a shot, you can see it just there is the lambda, because you've got 2 lambdas on an SVX. They feed into this one can here, which is the one that you see from the rear. So it's really short. You've got the Richard Jones Engineered Solutions bar. Let me reach under, and you can see the tranny, nice and dry. Diff sump, nice and dry. You can see the weep on the head, or the rocker cover, I should say, on this bank. That's by the by. I don't know if you can see them. There's blue anodized fittings, but they're what hold the temperature senders that come in and go out of the transmission. So I'll leave that all assembled for you, and you can use those if you want. But it's quite nice if you want to dial for the ATF temperature displayed in the cab, which I do. And interestingly, ever since I put the Mocal cooler in, it hardly registers at 50 degrees now, whereas before I was getting 100, 110 degrees with the small car one. So that's nice and reassuring. The gearbox is being kept nice and cool. Okay, here we are from the top. See down there, that's the lambda that I showed you from before. No lambda fault codes since I've done that, so that works nicely. The ECU is all designed to fit under the rear bench, so I'll try and get a little shot. If I go right back here, you might be able to see where it goes through the bulkhead. If you can just see there, maybe if I put the flash, no I can't. Oh, you can see it clearly. So you can see the transmission, top of the diff, tranny back there, and then all the cables go through the rear bulkhead, so you're going to have to drill a little hole to feed everything through there. Coolant plumbing is from Subaru. He's a good friend. He's been involved in the 3.27 ring and pinion project, so he sorted me out with a coolant plumbing kit, which he doesn't really do for SVXs anymore, but he did anyway. The air intake I had to modify, and I've used hot glue, which isn't the tidiest, but it does the job. But you can see I've had to reduce its depth, because it would have come back to about here and never fit inside, so I've just reduced it slightly, and now it works fine. We've got the throttle cable coming in through here from the transmission, and then it loops forwards towards the front of the van, and then comes back above the airbox into the factory bracket. So it's just looping in and out of the chassis a little bit. What else to say? I think that's it really, but it looks very neat and tidy, and as you can see, it fits quite well. There's plenty of space above it. Obviously your power steering and your air conditioning, or vice versa, I'm not sure which way it goes, is going to have to go in there, so you'll have to fiddle with that, but I've got all the brackets and the pumps, and that should be fine. And then this is a nice little bleed nipple on Vanaru's coolant. I don't know what else to say really. These blanked off pipes on the exhaust, I don't know what the technical name for them is, but I call them like resonance tubes. Basically they're designed to, there's one on each side, I don't know if you can see that. They're designed to cancel out they're designed to cancel out a the boom inside the cab. There'll be a culprit frequency, and it introduces that frequency into the blanked off pipe, and by mathematical deduction you get the correct length, so that it introduces it back into the exhaust in complete 180 degrees inverse. And the idea is that it cancels out the resonance, which they worked fairly well, not as great as I'd hoped, but they're there nonetheless, and they're not in the way. And you can see where they plug in straight just before the can, just after the lambda. Just to demo the tack, make sure it's working so you can see. But that idles at about 600 normally. And I don't know if you can tell, but here's my ATF gauge as well. I'll just rev it up so you can see. Okay. Okay, I've got the iPhone rigged up on my RAM mount on the screen, just so that you can see a little bit of its performance. The speedometer is in the bottom left of the screen, which I'm sure you can see. I know the screen of where I'm going is a bit bleached out, but I want you to see the speedo, just so that you can see how well it shifts. Sometimes I work through the gears manually, just because I didn't modify the governor to adjust the shifting points. You're probably aware you can drill them out and make the gears or make the gearbox hold on to the gears for longer, so that you can really get the most out of the high revving engine. Now that's probably about 50% throttle going up a steep hill out of a side turning, and just absolutely no problems shifting from first to second with all that torque. Currently 40 miles an hour going uphill, RPMs are 2100. Oh, the kickdown function is maintained, by the way. I got the Richard Jones kickdown bracket. I don't actually think they're commercially available from anyone else, so maybe I can demonstrate that now. Okay, so back to the speedo, 37 miles an hour, foot to the floor, and go. That's 55, 60, 65, 70, 75. And it just shifted into third at 75, and that was pretty much my foot to the floor. Just immense. Lots of fun. I thought I'd do another pass because it was so much fun. I'm gonna let them pull away and give it the boot. Okay, 40 miles an hour, third gear, foot to the floor. Quick shift down into second, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75.